Cheers again, legends. Sammy from Short and Stout Beer Reviews. We've got from One Drop Brewing Company out of Sydney, Australia, Fudged Up. It's an Imperial pastry stout with salted caramel and chocolate fudge. It's at 10.3%. Cheers again, brother. Good to see you. So yeah, One Drop. I've had them on the channel a fair bit recently. They're mostly known for their fruit sours and their hazies. But yeah, every now and then they'll bust out a Westie or a fine Imperial stout such as this. So yeah, hopefully it's a banger. Cheers, Brett. Good to see you, mate. I've got a different glass here. It's from a Melbourne venue, shall we say. Cheers, Joey, brother. Not sure if you're home yet, but hope you've had a rad holiday, dude. The good old Virgin Islands. So you're still there. Cool, dude. So yes, we have an Imperial Stout. It's quite the pastry boy. Color is like dark chocolate. It's definitely got a tan touch to it. It's not jet black. The head's very, very minimal. I would say probably medium body. Carbonation's fairly lively. Yeah, it looks like it's sort of got a bit of a brown ale appearance to it. It's like definitely not black, but I think it's the whole fudgy vibe to it. So yeah, let's go a little whiff. And welcome in everyone. Paul, good to see you again, brother. Fudged up. In other words, fucked up. So yeah, huge chocolate and caramel. And it's definitely like a milk chocolate. It's got like a maple syrup sort of aroma to it. It's a little bit biscuity. I'm not getting like coffee or it's not very roasty. It's definitely more sweet. I I haven't heard the term fudge packing for so long. That's funny as fuck, Jimmy. That's got to be highlighted, surely. Back to the review. Yeah, it's just like that huge, like pastry, cakey sort of caramel and chocolate. And yeah, quite sweet. And yeah, as I said, I'm getting like a maple syrup vibe, which is a bit odd. It doesn't smell boozy. What was the percentage on this again? 10.3, so pretty big. And the body, like, I don't think I mentioned, but it's probably like light to medium. It looks pretty light, which is a damn shame. Anyway, I'm going in. I've had enough of this smelling the smelling the beer business. Cheers, boys and girls. Mouthfeel probably medium body, even though it looks fairly light. It's definitely got a bit more oomph to it once you taste it. It's got that stickiness to it. I'd say it's definitely more caramel than chocolate. And yeah, I get the whole salted caramel thing now because yeah, it's got that slight saltiness. Cheers, Dorito, brother. Good to see you. But yeah, it's not boozy at all. It's not roasty at all. It's yeah, not bitter. It's definitely a pastry stout. It's quite sweet. Yeah, sweet and that little touch of like saltiness. I'm a little bit about this one, to be honest. I do like that salted caramel and chocolate flavour. But yeah, it's just, you know, what it's like when you like old school beers to taste like beer. It's sort of, yeah, it's a bit adjunct heavy, this one. And the sort of lighter base, like maybe if it was thicker and oilier, if that's even a word, it might sort of go a bit better. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this one. Yeah, exactly. Another good call. Run of the mill. You've nailed that one. That's what she said. I don't know what that relates to, but that's probably the case. Yeah. Suck on my chocolate salty balls, as chef says. Nah, to be honest, the Westie is way better than this. It's good to do 2 beer reviews in a night though, and get a little under the weather, if you may. I still get that maple on the nose. It's really weird. I'm pretty sure there's no maple syrup in it, but yeah, you just get. I've had quite a few maple beers recently. It must be just that caramel, whatever the caramel is. It's very sweet, sticky. But yeah, I reckon for this one, I'd probably only give it about a 4. I reckon about a 4.1 out of 5. Still a reasonable score, but yeah, probably not as good as I expected. I think I'm pretty sure on Untapped it has like some pretty high reviews, so maybe all the pastry boys out there think it's a lot better than what it really is. But I'm still going to drink the whole thing, let's be honest. See, it even pours like really brown, like a light and brown. I've got another stout in the fridge, so hopefully that tops this one, like another one of theirs. And another characteristic I've been picking up in Imperial stouts lately, especially when they're very like caramel forward or brown sugar, is I get this cola note. It's like, yeah, it's like so many Imperial stouts now. I have this Coca-Cola sort of note. It's weird. Tell me in the comments whether you're watching now or later if you get the Coca-Cola in stouts. Cheers, Slurpee. Good to see you, brother. Hope all is well on the aisle. I haven't watched your last video yet, mate. I'll have to get around to it. Always like seeing you're out and about. Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I've been pretty spoilt for choice with dark beers lately too. So you get the odd one, you're like, But yeah, I've got to a stage now, Jimmy, where when it comes to stouts, I'm sick of real sweet pastry stouts, and this is exactly what this is. I just want old school roasty and bitter, like your big, like Russian Imperial stouts. And yeah, it's like I don't know. I have like 5, 10 years ago, I would have probably loved a beer like this, but yeah, now it's like you're starting to get away from what beer really is. And I mean, like, yeah, there's something for everyone. People would love this sort of stuff, but yeah, I just think when you've been into craft beer now for as long as what I have and most people in the chat, like, yeah, it's like when they're, I don't know, very adjunct heavy and that, you can see through it. I wouldn't mind a steak and kidney pie right now, Slurp. That would be good. Yeah. Nah, just every now and then in stouts, dude, especially if they're very caramel forward. I mean, yeah, I would get it in those two as well, especially a Schwartz beer. Yeah, I don't know. Just lately, it's like been a big thing. It's like you'll get it in a couple, and then you can't get it out of your head. It's like just about everyone you try, you're like, why do I keep getting cola? And it might be a different shade of cola. Like one you'll get, and you're like, oh, this reminds me of Pepsi. It's like, and the other one's like RC cola. Like it's fucking weird. Here we go. Always count on Slurp for a great joke. So yeah, what did I say? 4.1 out of 5. I could nearly even go a 4. I don't know. I like to be reasonably positive in my reviews, even if I'm not on camera, if it's like on Untapped or Instagram or whatever. I mean, if a beer's shit, I'll say it's shit. Certainly not shit. It's just, yeah, it's like, I think you get what I mean. You've missed nothing. Just trash talk. Now, I did a West Coast IPA just before, dude. It was by Fox Friday, who I've had recently, and I said they're probably our best West Coast IPA brewers at the moment, and Behemoth from New Zealand. And yeah, good 4.5 out of 5. Really good, really piney and resinous, bready backbone, bit of tropical, bit of citrus. That was good. But this is a bit meh. This is Imperial pastry stout with salted caramel and chocolate fudge. It's just, yeah, very adjunct heavy. It's lacking that roastiness and bitterness and yeah, so even body, like it's very light. This would be Paul in the chat. This would be the sort of beer he would despise, I feel. I think we're on the same page with a lot of these sort of beers. Yeah, the last couple I've had from Fox Friday, Westies wise, Rob, have been old school American hops plus New Zealand hops. And it's been a good combination. And they've had more of like a bready backbone than like your caramel. Whenever Fox Friday bring out Westies, they just fucking knock them out of the park. They're so good. And yeah, like I was saying, I might be going to Melbourne this weekend. And one of my favourite burger pop ups, they do like different venues and they're so fucking good, like smash burgers. They're doing a bar in a east suburb called Hawthorne. It's a craft beer bar, so they're going to be there. And Fox Friday have recently built a new brewery in Melbourne because they're from Tasmania, and that's sort of in the same area. So I thought, I might kill two birds with the one stone and do both of them possibly this weekend. See what happens. I always love my little days out in Melbourne, even if I just go by myself. I just a bit like Craig when he does his little London trips. There's just something about getting out and about and visiting venues and doing a couple of flights or whatever. It's awesome. Just something about it. I think depends on they have different sizes and he does different specialties every now and then. But I think the last time he did double smashes, you don't get a chips, like you don't get fries or a drink or anything. It's just the burger by itself. And he's like elite level, like some of the best in Australia. I think he was charging about, I think it was $14 for a double beef smash burger. And I don't know, I feel like that's probably reasonable price. Um, yeah, he's just like epic. Like he just sets up his little van in his gazebo and he's like parked out the front of whatever business he's teed up with and does his little promos and that on Instagram. He's quite funny. He's an Australian guy with Italian heritage. And yeah, he's like, I don't know, his burgers are just so fucking good. And one thing that's awesome, well, actually, this is his cap here. So Leon Smash Burgers, bit of promo for him. So yeah, one thing that's fucking unreal that he's just recently done. He's obviously like getting a bit of a name for himself. And one thing that I found fantastic that he's done recently, he's written a children's book and it's got really good illustrations. He's teamed up with like a local artist, and the book's just all about like burgers and burger ingredients. It's like so cool. Like I'm like fucking a middle-aged adult and I want to buy the book. Yeah, definitely. Hey, how we going, mate? Good to see you. Last time I chatted to you would have been on Craig's on the weekend. Mm. Yeah, would you say that's reasonable, Jimmy? One thing I've heard, dude, apparently our beer is a lot more expensive than the UK, but a lot of people have said food is similar when you do the conversions and stuff. But when it comes to fine dining, actually Australia is meant to be a little cheaper with like steaks and stuff like that, just because we've got more like we've probably got more access to like because our area is so massive and we have like shitloads of farms and that. Yeah, we've probably got more stock sort of thing. That's just what I've heard when I've talked to numerous people and what I've read and stuff. Because everyone says, "Oh, the beers are so expensive in England and that." They are, but Australia is way worse. But yeah, when it comes to farming, like a lot of meats and stuff, Australia is like pretty reasonably priced. It's just yeah, because we've always had strong farming and plenty of space and shit. Yeah, it's definitely high quality. Like, and I'm one of those people like beer. I always mix it up and try new things. So one stage there, I was like every time I'd go to the city, I'd try a new burger place. So I sort of know what's good and what's shit. And like I've nailed it down, or should I say narrowed it down. There's two that are the kings at the moment in Melbourne, and they're one of them. And then there's another place called College Dropout, and the guy that runs that, he's real cocky, like confident as fuck, but like he sort of deserves to be, and it's like I totally respect him. And he's one thing that's funny is he's like highly inspired by Kanye West. So a lot of his burgers are named after songs by him, and like a lot of his whole merchandise and the way he sets his stores up and stuff. And yeah, like he's an Australian lad with I think he might have Lebanese heritage or something. I actually think he's a really good bloke. I think a lot of people, if they know him, they really like him, but he's definitely got that sort of cocky attitude where some people wouldn't like him. I just think he's like, yeah, highly driven and very confident, and to be successful in some industries, you sort of have to be like that. Yeah. No, the last few weeks, most days or nights, I've had one beer just to do a review. And then, yeah, we had a bit of a rough night at work tonight, and I knocked off, and I was like, I want more than one beer, but every beer in the fridge I've got's like a review beer, so it's sort of annoying. And yeah, I'm just like, fuck it, I'm gonna schedule two beer reviews. I'm gonna do a double West Coast IPA, and then I'm gonna do a big Imperial Stout. And then that way, it's like I can get a little bit of a buzz on and do two reviews. Like I got a package today, right? But I didn't put it. I got it just before I had to walk to work. Like the postie had just arrived in time, so I was able to get the package and put it inside, but didn't have time to like unpack it and put it in the fridge. Cheers, Adam, brother. Good to see you. Hope all is well up in the north. Nah, I'm on afternoon shift, dude. So I'm sort of starting roughly at 1 or 2 in the afternoon and finishing at 10, 11. So when it comes to Beer Man show tomorrow, or actually it's now today, I will do his show and I'll just do the beer on the show and maybe one other beer, and then yeah, I'll work later in the day. I wouldn't normally do that, but yeah, I don't know, like the whole we're up like there's a bit of competition. We've all had the one win, and I really enjoy going on Beer Man. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go on there. I might have a beer beforehand or whatever, but yeah, as long as I only just have the 1 or 2 beers, I'll be fine. Because then I've got to go to work in like 5 hours, 6 hours time. It's like having a cheeky lunchtime beer. Oh, cool. Double, what is it? DDF, Caterpillar Cake Imp, Alt City. That's intense. Yeah, mate. I'm definitely keen on beer, man. I've told him I'll be there, so not sure what beer yet. I had three really shit words. I mean, they're all right words, but they're no good together. I had hazy, toasty, and rich. And beer man's like, oh, you only need to do one word. And I'm like, nah, you got to at least do two together. So I've got a beer that's toasty and rich. So I think I might do that. Hazy and toasty don't really go together, or hazy and rich. So I'm like, at least toasty and rich go together. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. What's DDF? Oh my God. Hopefully it's better than this one. I drink, I'll be honest, I drink stouts all year round. I would drink more in the winter, but that wouldn't be by choice. That's just more because there's more available. That's pretty much it. And because if you've seen in the recent videos, we get packages like brought out for winter time, sort of like a Christmas in July thing, where yeah, I'll do like a dark beer every day for the first half of January. I mean, sorry, July. So yeah, it's like I'm happy. Like I can have a 35-degree Celsius day, have a couple of lagers or IPAs or whatever, and then I'm happy to have a stout. Like it's probably more of an end of a night thing. I'm not going to session stouts when it's hot, but yeah, it's like I'm definitely a not really care what the weather or time of the year is like for stout. I can sort of have it whenever. There's definitely some people out there that only drink them when they're cold. But yeah, because I feel like because stout's one of my favourite beer styles, it's like, yeah, I'll drink them whenever I can. If I come across one that's epic, it's like I don't want to pass on it. Good to see you, Bumpy brother. And you've woke up to my sweet, soothing voice. Cost me £7.50 for three 30 ml Red Bull. Oh yeah, yeah. It's weird when you see beers in those like real thin, small cans. See, even when it comes to like Red Bull and like soft drinks in those size cans, I just can't justify paying the price for them. Unless you get some special deal where you get four for whatever at the supermarket. I'm just like, why would you get this is how I always look at what like why would you get a Red Bull that's like 200 mils for like $3, and then you've got like a monster that's like more than double the size for like $3.50 or $4. It's like it just doesn't make any sense. Red Bull's definitely got that name to them that yeah, people will buy them just because of the name. Is anyone going live? Nah, it's too early for everyone. It's like, yeah, I get a couple of beers in me after work, after Arvo shift. I'm like, I so wish there was people around, but there never is. And yeah, if I went live, no one would join me because it's like morning for everyone. Well, there's that beer gone. Yeah. Yeah, well, that's understandable too. See, that's 440. It depends on the beer. Like, see, that's the thing. If you get like a real awesome like barrel age impy and you absolutely love it, you're happy that it's 440. Because sometimes you get like the real small cans. You're like, fuck, I wish I had more of this. It's just. I think sometimes it can just be the not only the beer itself, but like the ambiance, like where you are and what you're doing, sort of thing. Cheers, Joshy boy. Good to see you, brother. Hopefully, work's going all right for you. Now you're back. This week for me's been. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like the fucking time difference does my head in. Every time people are catching up, like I seen this morning, Craig and Jagman and Simo and maybe a few others they're smashing beers, and I'm like, fuck this shit. I'm sick of the time difference. I'm always at work or sleeping or something when people are doing stuff. Yeah, get one India. What's your favourite style? Yeah, looks like a rad place. I really like just some of the places in the UK. So fucking awesome. Just how old they look. See, in Australia, we do have old stuff here, but like for us, some of our pubs, like that are claimed to be old, you guys would have like general stores and shit that are older than that. So yeah, some of your pubs, they're like, it just blows my mind. Some of your buildings and your architecture and all that shit. That's why I really want to visit Europe. I could just imagine what like Prague and some of the like Italian cities and that are like. Yeah, it's always a good feeling to get halfway through the week. Is it cask or cask? Yeah, he's an old cunt. Similar age to me, unfortunately. Yeah. Yeah, you definitely need to mix it up, try some new things. You got to remember you only live once. With some ancient skitties as well. So yeah, yeah, that's what it's like. See, Australia, everything's so fucking modern. Well, yeah, it's not modern, but like just the history. Like whenever it comes to buildings and that, we've got nothing on anyone else. So you'll go down to Tasmania and you're like, oh, this is like the oldest pub in Australia. This is epic, and like it's like I don't know, 180 years old. It's like, oh, I'm from London. This pub's 1,000 years old. So yeah, this is one of those beers that I would say I wouldn't buy again. I would say to people to especially if they're right into their caramel. I'd say give it a go. But yeah, it's just as I said, too adjuncty, sweet caramel and chocolate, light body. Yeah, what did I give it? Four around that 4.1 mark. I want another beer now. It's got me going. Yeah, bro. So I'm going to do beer mans tomorrow morning, or shall I say this morning. So yeah, beer mans is what? 7.5 hours from now. So yeah. I still don't know what beer I'm going to do for it because my words were hazy, toasty, and rich. Sort of like three words that don't really work together. So I thought I do have a beer that you could probably classify as toasty and rich. Yeah, so I'll do the one beer on his show and then maybe one other, and then yeah, I've got to work obviously later in the day. So, but yeah, it's like I'll finish work tonight. Had a bit of a rough night. Was keen as for a beer, and most of the beers in the fridge are review beers. So I'm like, fuck, what am I going to do? So I scheduled one beer review and then another one straight after. Yeah. Anyone in the chat having a drink or keen to have a drink, or is it too early for you? Cheers, buddy. Good to see you, brother. She's a little windy outside. Sounds like a hurricane. I can't wait till winter's over. I'm sick of it. Hang on. Mr. Craig has messaged me on Insta, I'm assuming. Okay. So, what I'm going to do, because I'm keen for a few more beers, I just wanted that one person to egg me on, and Craig's keen. So, I'm going to end this and I'm going to start a live. I just need to organise some beers. So, if anyone's around, whether you just want to jump up or come in the chat, I don't really care. I might start her up in about 10 minutes' time. So just to hang out. So yeah, even if you don't want to drink, even if you got coffee, tea, whatever, come hang out with us. We'll talk some shit. So yeah, thanks everyone for chiming in. And yeah, as I said, one drop, fudged up, Imperial pastry stout with salted caramel and chocolate fudge. It's around the 4 out of 5 mark. It's tasty, but it's just too much of that sweetness and pastry stout like it's just not for me. So yeah, we'll see you very shortly. Cheers, peeps.